All right, so there's guys out there who feel extreme anxiety every time they relapse on Nofap, right? They start to think, oh my God, because I relapse, I'm going to feel so much more anxious tomorrow and everything is just going to be terrible. And they get caught in these negative thought cycles, right? And then when they're consistent with Nofap, they start to feel better, but inevitably they relapse, right? Whether it's in a few weeks or in a few days. And then they start to feel like crap about themselves again. And they continue the cycle for years and years and years, right? And they don't get anywhere. Whereas there's other guys out there who seem to fap and be winning in just about every aspect of life. I'm going to talk about the difference here specifically. I'll talk about the Nofap Benefits Timeline. I've been on self improvement for 5+ years, and Nofap was actually what got me onto self improvement. So I have quite a few years of experience with this stuff now, and I really hope this advice will help you out. And without further ado, let's dive into it. I remember clearly, I was walking down the hallway of my school, right? This was a few years ago. I remember just thinking to myself, like, damn, I feel an absurd amount of anxiety. And there was no one in the hallway. Everyone was in their classrooms, right? So it's not like anyone was looking at me. But I'm like pulling on my shirt, I'm sweating a little bit. And I've struggled with anxiety basically my whole life. But I remember thinking at that point, like, damn, my anxiety is just skyrocketed this year. I don't know what's happened. And my lifestyle at that time was I was smoking weed all the time, and after smoking weed I'd fap, right? Because if you don't know, when you get high, fapping feels better, right? And that's what I was basically doing day in day out, like multiple times a day, right? I was like fapping so much nothing was coming out, right? This was the situation I was in. And around this time, a few months after this time, I came across Nofap, and I was like, okay, well, this seems promising. They say that doing this helps reduce anxiety, helps you feel better. So then I did it, and I did start to feel better. My anxiety started to improve as well, and I was like, this is great, right? But I would relapse eventually, whether it be in a few days, a few weeks, whatever. And then get caught in negative thoughts like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Now tomorrow's going to be terrible. I won't be as confident in school tomorrow. I won't be able to make eye contact with people. And I'd get caught in these negative thought cycles constantly. And this pattern would repeat itself where I'd stay consistent for a little bit, feel great, relapse, feel bad, and promise myself, oh my God, I'm never going to do this again. What did I do? And this would just repeat and repeat, right? This leads me to the first point, which is fuck the benefits of NoFap and fuck the timeline, right? Now, look, here's part of the issue, and let me elaborate on this. But here's part of the issue. Part of the issue is the self-improvement YouTubers or just other people online within the community who say, oh, you got to be perfect on this NoFap stuff, bro. You relapse, you're a loser, bro. You can't even control yourself, bro. That's pathetic. Like, no, take that thought, throw it way out the window. We don't listen to those people. These people put a train of thought on us that doesn't serve us at all. Look, like sexuality, whether masturbation, sex, whatever, right, is one of the most primitive like behaviors of human beings. So there's no reason to feel like absolute crap about yourself just because you weren't able to stay consistent with this, a very difficult thing to do, because again, it's primitive. Like, human sexual behavior is very primitive. We've had it since day one, basically, right? So having these desires and wanting to have sex, whatever, like that's very normal, right? So let's just get that out of the way first. And the second reason I say this is, look, my background, where I was just fapping all day, I was clearly addicted, right? And most of my benefits came from leaving that addiction. As in, when you leave any addiction, you can expect to experience benefits in life, right? But it got to a point, and I definitely struggle with this, and I see other guys struggling with this constantly, where it gets to a point where NoFap actually starts to hurt more than it helps, right? Again, for me, where it was like I'd fap and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to feel like crap tomorrow, and it's going to take me like 7 days or 14 days of NoFap to get back to my old self, get my superpowers back, right? So from one relapse, basically, then my next 14 days would be ruined, right? And again, I see this pattern constantly. If you go on like self-improvement subreddits, you see so many posts of guys saying, oh my God, I can't believe I fabbed, this is going to be the last time, and I feel so terrible. And so a lot of guys are caught in this cycle, and I think this cycle is hurting a lot more than it's helping. Now, please understand, I'm not trying to say that fapping and watching porn is like some super productive use of your time. That's not what I'm saying, right? Nor am I saying you should do it, and that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, if you end up doing it, I think there's two ways to basically go about it, right? One is kind of shrug it off, out, whatever, it is what it is, and move on with your life and still do the things you're going to do. And the second way is just get caught in the negative thought cycle and beat yourself up. And all I'm saying is the latter hurts a lot more than it helps. right? It hurts a lot more than it helps. And part of the reason we get caught in those cycles is because we think there's some benefits timeline. Oh, now I have to wait 7 days before I can. Like, no, bro, go do this, whatever thing you want to do, go do it right now, right? Because Nofap became a crutch for me, right? That's one of the points I'm getting across here, where I'd be like, okay, I can't go to this social event tomorrow. I just relapsed yesterday. I'm gonna wait 2 weeks, then I'm gonna go, right? And thought patterns like this hurt my growth a lot more than they helped, a lot more than they helped. And that's why I'm saying, put all this benefits and timeline stuff to the side. At least in my experience, it hurts a lot more than it helps. Now, the next thing I remember is I was on Tinder, right? I just put up this fire new photo, and I'm swiping, and I got 0 matches, right? I ran like a boost or something, and it finished. I got 0 matches, and after that, I started to feel sad, and then I start reaching out to porn, right, to feel better. This leads me to the second point, which is I used to think that porn was the problem. Me watching porn is the problem. I just need to be more disciplined. I need to watch less porn, right? And it's not like just to be clear, it's not like I was watching porn 24/7. I never had a huge addiction or something, but still, I wanted to cut it out completely. But porn was not the problem. Porn was the symptom. Porn was a symptom of a deeper problem, which at that point was loneliness, right? My dating life sucked. My social life sucked. And, these are things that still, they've improved since that point, right? But they still aren't where I want them to be. My social life, especially, I'll just be honest with you, my social life sucks, right? I don't have anyone in my life who right now I feel like is like a true best friend who I can reach out to and kind of just talk about things I'm struggling with, etc. Right? And that's something I'm improving, I'm working on now, right? And similarly in my dating life, I mean, it's significantly better than back in that day. I have a lot more dating experience now, but it's still not, I wouldn't say I have a great dating life, and that's something I'm working on as well, right? But the point I'm trying to make is, again, porn was not the problem. It was a symptom of a bigger problem. And I've noticed that as I've started addressing the problem, which again, in my case was loneliness, right? As I started to do things to improve on that front, to put myself out there more, my desire to watch porn has naturally just started reducing and reducing. And this is a very common human behavior, right? You feel bad about something. You feel like maybe something's outside of your control or whatever it may be. And you start reaching for vices to feel better, right? And your vice may be porn. It definitely was mine, just porn and masturbation, right? So again, porn is the symptom, not the problem. Now, I'm not trying to say the porn industry isn't a problem. I know the industry is horrific, but that's a whole separate topic, right? But I hope this point came across. Now, part of the issue here is these people will say, "Oh, you can't quit porn. You're just weak-minded, bro. You just gotta be strong-minded." Like, no, take that thought way out the window. We don't listen to those people. They put a train of thought on us that doesn't serve us at all. Look, if I had listened to that train of thought, I never would have actually understood what's happening beneath the surface, right? I would have just thought, oh, porn is a problem, and I'm just this weak loser who can't figure life out. Like, no, right? So there's no reason to, again, if you watch porn, slip up, whatever, there's no reason to like judge yourself and start getting caught in these negative thought cycles. Be curious about it. Okay, I watched porn. Why? What happened? And in my case, when I was able to trace that back, oh, okay, I felt like crap. I wasn't getting any matches. Okay, and oh, I'm lonely. You're able to trace these dots back and figure out what the real problem is. And as you start addressing that problem, at least in my experience, your desire to watch porn will naturally start to reduce. Now, the next thing I remember is, again, previously I was coming from a place where if I fapped yesterday, I'd be like, oh my God, I won't be able to go to the grocery store tomorrow. I won't be able to look people in the eye, and I'm going to feel so unconfident. And like, I have really bad anxiety, just to make that clear. And it like to the point where I could literally, like, there's no one in front of my house right now. And I could go to the front of my house and I just start feeling anxious. Like, for what? It's the front of my house, right? But this is what it is. And again, I'm working through it now and putting myself out there more, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to set the foundation because it feeds into the story I'm about to tell. So again, that was my background, where I fap Monday. Tomorrow I'd be like, oh my God, everything's gonna be terrible, won't be able to be confident, et cetera, et cetera. And a few weeks ago, I fapped on like around Tuesday, and I had a boxing fight on Friday, which is a significantly more stressful situation than like going to the grocery store or whatever. And I stepped to the plate and did my thing, right? Just to be transparent, I did lose that fight. But the point being, I got to that place, right, of being able to handle a significantly more stressful situation calmly, right? It's not like I was shaking in my boots or something. I stepped up and again stepped into the ring. I was able to get to that situation. by, again, not judging myself and beating myself up over it, because the previous me would have been like, oh my god, I just fapped on Tuesday and now I won't have my superpowers, so will I be able to do this? I don't know, maybe I shouldn't, so again, the whole point I'm trying to make is those negative thought cycles hurt a lot more than they help. And when we talk about self-improvement, let's just do a thought experiment. If you have two guys and one guy is fapping literally daily, but he understands the previous point I said, which is, understanding where the problem comes from. Again, maybe his problem is also loneliness. So he's fapping every morning, but every evening he goes to social events. He puts himself out there. He puts himself out there on the dating side, whatever it may be. This guy, over the course of 3 months, 6 months, is going to notice significantly more improvements on his self-improvement journey. Whereas this guy who's just been like staying at home and doing Nofap, right? He'll notice some benefits. Obviously, I'm not trying to deny Nofap has benefits, but like the benefits are so minuscule. Like, who even bloody cares, right? That's the only point I'm getting across here, is if you're just sitting at home, not doing anything, and Nofap is actually to the point where, again, if everything I said previously that sounds relatable, and Nofap is getting to the point where it's actually getting counterproductive to your growth, throw all this benefits timeline stuff out the window, right? Throw it out the window and stop beating yourself up every time you relapse, and start putting yourself out there and getting that real growth, right? Now, I just want to end this video off by saying, be kind to yourself throughout this process. Look, my background is on the self-improvement stuff. I started around 17 and 18, right? And I started mainly because I wanted to improve my dating life. That was my only goal. And I would say for most of my self-improvement journey, I've borderline like hated myself. And that's not even me kidding, right? Like I always motivated myself from very negative places, beating myself up over every little thing. And when I started, right, I thought, oh, if I have abs, then my dating life will improve, right? Well, I got abs, and while they did have their benefits, not too much change. And then I was like, oh, if I have money, then my dating life will definitely improve. Now I make 6 figures, right? And last I checked, anyway, there's no dates, no dates at my door, right? No one just like knocking on my door trying to meet me, right? And that's when I understood, okay, this whole time I've actually been avoiding putting myself out there, right? Where I was like, oh, I'll put myself out there once I have abs. No, I'll put myself out there once I have money, right? And or I'll put myself out there once I'm on a 90-day Nofap streak. And that's when things finally clicked, and I understood I'm just avoiding putting myself out there, right? And part of the reason is because of how hard I am on myself all the time, right? Because say I went out to like a social event, I'd be worried, oh, what does this person think of me? What does that person think of me? Did that sound cool? And then to say I come back from that event, I'd be all up in my head, oh, how did this go? How did that go? And judging myself and beating myself up over every little thing. And I would do this, whether it's socialization, whether it's the workplace, or whether it's Nofap, with the examples I've given, right? So if you're someone who's similar minded, I just want to save you from that, because truly, I think all that stuff hurt my growth a lot more than it helped, right? So be kind to yourself throughout this process. Be proud of yourself every single day you show up, right? And keep on showing up day in, day out, day in, day out. Keep on putting in the hard work. Hard work always pays off, and this will be no exception. Keep on showing up. And again, a lot of people will start the self-improvement. Again, whether it's fitness, career, whatever it may be, a lot of people will start the self-improvement stuff. Not a lot will see it through till the end, right? Some will stay consistent for a day, some for a week, some for 2 weeks, and that's it, right? So every single time you're consistent with it, be proud of yourself, right? Be proud of yourself for showing up, and in no time, you'll achieve your goal, whatever it may be, whether it's money, improving your data life, whatever it may be, right? Now, I just want you to imagine for a second. Imagine you take this advice, you run with it, and your dating life is improving day by day by day, because now instead of just staying shut in, oh, I'm on Nofap, you're just putting yourself out there constantly, right? And you're not beating yourself. Like if someone rejects you, you kind of just shrug it off and like, yeah, whatever, I'm still awesome, I'm still cool, right? It doesn't completely destroy your self-esteem, because your confidence comes from within. Now you don't beat yourself up over every little thing. I want you to imagine that your money is improving day by day by day, because you started taking your career seriously as well, right? And you're noticing major improvements on that side. But most importantly, your confidence in yourself is improving day by day by day. Because again, you don't beat yourself up over every little thing. You look at the positive side of things. You're not constantly guilt tripping yourself over silly things, right? Constantly relying on other people's approval. And your confidence in yourself is improving day by day by day. Imagine that. And that's the path you're on. Keep working hard. I believe in you. But what I believe doesn't matter. What you believe matters. So I hope you believe in yourself too. And that's all I got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Ultimately, I want this to be our positive little community where we help each other, support each other, and help each other get to the next level in life. So please come join the community. I'll leave my Instagram, TikTok in the description, also somewhere here. Please do support there as well. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Just to be transparent with what I'm trying to do here, I have a good job right now and I like it, but the passion I feel like is not quite there. And as I started to do this YouTube stuff more and more, I have found a passion for it. This is something I genuinely enjoy doing, and I want to take this on full time. So please like, comment, subscribe, support. All that will help me. All that support will help me make my dream a reality and take YouTube full time. And I appreciate all the support. I'll talk to you later. Peace.